From the rooter to the tutor, know that I've never been a shooter, but I keep you all dancing and steady moving, no chance of Lance losing. The situation's affable, cause I've been ghostwriting punchlines of the supernatural, and it is laughable how you clowns think you can get down. Been a son of a gun, watch a young nigga spit rounds, been from Ali City, while y'all get older and slow down, I can keep going more rounds, give you context like pronouns. Welcome, y'all. Welcome to the Podigal Sons podcast, episode 8.
I was withholding my woos and my excitement because I didn't want to miss a bar, but I just had to, and it was right when it was the ending. So that was perfect. That's serendipitous. That's some straight fire bars. I believe that's one of the David Blaine. Shouts out to David Blaine. That's one of the tricks you put out. You got that in the tuck. That's one of the ones.
It's in a pocket. It's a pocket. They're drummers. They have a thing called a pocket. It's very important. It's like, I guess, when they kind of set into their beat, into their rhythm, and they kind of get in that pocket, so to speak. And I have several in my pocket. So I always tell poets, like, y'all want to be great, but y'all don't. How many poems you got in your pocket? Like, how much flavor? You got to have something for when Kanye West walk up on you, and you got to have something for when Avra DeVry walks up on you. You feel me? Like, you gotta go across the spectrum.
I mean, she's not known as a poet. You just talking about, or she
just
known as a poet?
I'm talking. No, I'm
but like opportunity.
She's not a poet. Content.
Yes.
Right? Like, if Spike Lee walk up on me, I'm gonna do a different poem than if Meg The Stallion walks up on me.
Okay. Body, yada, 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 yada. That's a good example. That's why I don't consider myself, like, I am a comedian, because I can write jokes and tell jokes and I have a process of remembering my jokes. But the thing that's holding me back is, like, I ain't got 5 in the tuck that I can just come off the top. Like, I can be funny for 5 minutes, and some people do that type of shit, but I like to be specific with mines. So until I got 40 in the tuck for any audience, you know what I'm saying? I'm still aspiring.
Slam poetry has if you have, they're called 30 pieces. The highest score you can get in a slam is a 30, and people be having like 30 in their pocket, like 3 30s. So if you have 3 30s, then you're going to win any poetry slam you enter. It's just what it is. Like, a 30 poem is one of those poems that you can spit anywhere and everybody's going to be on their feet. You feel me? It's like,
right, for a versus battle, it's like the hit.
Come on.
And you save it. And, like, because I've gone to some Southern Fried, some poetry slam events that Lance has hosted. He brought it to the Southern Fried to Louisville, which was so serendipitous, because it just was something that he was doing for a while, and then the whole community came to Louisville, and he was like big bro for everyone. He's hosting, and our family was there. It was a beautiful moment. But I saw that he had kept his quote unquote 30 for like the middle round. You know what I'm saying? On some, like, trying to stack the deck. When you come in. Lance was introducing the podcast, episode 8. I jumped on him just to praise him for his rapping, and now we went on a little tangent sidebar.
No, I'm on episode 8, serendipitous. So we're gonna put it in there. Brandon has used the word twice. It will be a word of the podcast.
When did I said it twice on the podcast since we've been recording?
You said it twice in under 5 minutes, Brandon. So it's gonna be a serendipitous time. It is a serendipitous time, right? We got the
superpowers.
The planets. Come on. Planets are aligning, right?
Super serendipitous.
North stars. It's wild. It's like, it's serendipity do die. We have come to an age of awareness, of enlightenment. I believe in all types of planet alignment, and anything astrology based, like, I'm here for. I read my horoscope and I apply it to my life. I don't care if it applies to my life or not.
You apply it to your life. Yeah. Well, that's what we were talking about this before. Obviously, Black people are. I don't want to say we're beholden to astrology, but it's something that traditionally, and obviously we don't want to generalize all Black people, but it's something that it's like a common ground. As much as, like, our mama told us to, like, turn them lights off, or cut them lights off, excuse me. Or
how many black people wanted a telescope and just couldn't afford one?
Oh my God, I
how
don't
many
even know.
stargazers will we have? You
That
like the
might.
stars? We
Oh,
like the stars.
I'm a big star person. It makes
Come
us
on.
feel, or it makes me feel small, which is a good thing. And also like a
Hmm.
lot of things that we think are important and just like not like how people use the stars specifically to like navigate,
Mm.
and that's why this whole thing is interesting. We'll obviously get the Christmas stuff later, but this Saturn Jupiter conjunction meeting up same time, first time in ages, was like
Eight
the
hundred
only
years.
yeah, only the
It's
third
11:11
time.
right now.
Oh, shouts
11:11.
out. It's only
Keep going.
it's only the third
Eastern
time in
Standard.
X amount of times. But anyways, they say that this was the star that led the wise men to wherever the manger was when Mary, the
Ain't that some
virgin,
shit?
was born.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah,
Christianity always trying to take credit for the universe's intentions.
it's not just Christianity. I think it's all religions try to take and bring relevancy from outside sources to their thing to help the validity of things. Um, but
Mm.
yeah, I just want to say off top that Lance set this rundown. It sounds very very good. I am taking a step back and let my
Oh,
brother cook, and then just
what?
kind of just
I get to cook today?
being around and listening and but
What?
yeah, we're in this together.
No, we are, and I appreciate it, B, because there are going to be times when you can't handle the weight, and I will take that load for you gladly. You know what I'm saying? Um, I was going to put a nasty metaphor with that, but we're going to just keep going. I know, right? This is what happens when you let me drive the boat, Brandon. Just understand and be prepared.
You try to get too
First of
close to
all,
the other boats.
I think
You be driving hella close to the other boats when you be driving the boat. Go
oh,
ahead.
I have no lake etiquette.
Oh
I come
man.
from the streets. You know what I mean? As in like physical ground, right? I'm not
Right.
on the water. What's up? Like I don't
Yeah.
know no rules. I'm out here.
Coast Guard.
Um, but we think about the vastness of the ocean, and then think about the vastness of the stars. If y'all didn't know, me and Brandon were raised in between Louisville and Detroit, Michigan, right?
Shout
Um,
out.
Louisville, Kentucky, Detroit, Michigan, not Louisville, Detroit, Michigan. Um, and between it's a
Oh, they
6 hour
people.
drive.
Wait a minute. Between the 6 hour drive, I just want you to remember what you said, but I do want to say that I get made fun of from everyone, Notre Dame, whatever, all the people I've talked to in my life, so much that they say, I don't give a fuck that you from Louisville, Detroit.
That's hard. That's hard. I like that.
So go ahead. We'll keep
I
going.
like
Between
that.
that six
And
hour
they
drive.
and they better give a fuck. What you talking about?
Right.
That's two of the what killers.
Bro, that's, I mean, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
Go.
6 hours. 6 hours, y'all. It's a
Yes.
6 hour drive between Louisville and Detroit, and
If we
we're
driving,
making
if
it.
you're on a Greyhound, it's 13.
Maybe more if there are some people on the bus who have illegal marijuana stashed in trash bags underneath the bus, and you and your 10-year-old or your eight, Brandon's probably 9, you and your 9-year-old brother are sitting there opening your book bag to police officers saying, "Here, sir, search me. Search me. I don't have
Yeah,
anything."
y'all. Our parents put us on a Greyhound way too early.
Way too early.
Once they realized, because obviously it's a 6 hour drive. They used to meet up in Gas City or like Dayton,
No,
Ohio.
it was uh uh oh, what city? It's
Dayton.
something city,
Oh, you mean
Ohio.
Tip City?
Tip City. It's Tip City,
Tip
Ohio.
City, Ohio.
That was the
Shout
midpoint.
out to Ohio. Ohio, longest state to drive through. One of the longest
What?
states to
Oh
drive
my
through.
God.
But shout out to them. So they
Shout
would
out
always meet
touchdown
up.
Jesus.
Yeah, they would always meet up, and then it depends on if my mom was mad at my dad or not. Where if it was like my dad was driving all the way to Louisville, or like my mom was driving all the way to Detroit, and that
Never.
very rarely happened. But then,
Yeah.
like when we were younger, they
No,
realized they could just throw
mom would
us on
drive
the
to Detroit. Mom would drive
yeah.
to Detroit. Dad
But
dad wouldn't
she
drive
had
to
business
Louisville
in
like
Detroit.
that.
He would
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but so she, but
They put us
oh,
on a Greyhound.
but yes, then they realized they can just throw us on a Greyhound, $13 or how many, not how many though, whatever amount of
It was
dollars it
not
was.
13. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
whatever.
was cheap
It's
though.
between two people.
And they also, yes, and they like this is before cell phones and stuff. Like they had them us
Y'all,
half the
before
day.
cell phones, y'all, they would have been arrested. They would have been
This is
arrested and
like
charged
this is like
with
we would like
child
to,
endangerment.
yeah, we would like to think the amount of time we spent on a Greyhound. This is equivalent to like when you used to could keep your dog in the car with the windows up. Like they don't do.
Y'all,
You're not allowed to
they
do
would.
that no more.
My mama will walk us to the bus and tell the bus driver, you feel me? They gonna
Now
sit
watch
right
out. Now we
here.
sit right
Y'all
behind the
watch
bus
out for
driver.
them.
Oh,
It was this old Negro spiritual driving the bus,
uh,
and they was always watching over us like they was our own grandparent each time.
honestly, we're talking about astrology and stuff. One of the reasons why I trust in the Lord Jesus Christ above and the religion is because we have prayed our way through some times and some instances where
Come
like
on.
the bus drivers was switched over. Sometimes we had to switch
Oh
over
my
buses
God.
at a specific city and didn't know what we was
Oh,
doing because we was just two kids that didn't know
oh
what
my
was what.
God.
And we was like, oh, okay, I think we're on the right bus. Like it would be, we'd be falling asleep for hours driving in a specific way, just hoping that we on the right bus. Because we don't know.
And I mean, we alternated sleep schedules. So just so you know,
Yes.
we were safe on the bus. So one person sleep, the other person got to be up.
That was
And we have
mandated by
all
our
types of.
father.
So we'll get to the many stories we have from the Greyhound. That first one that I told about the marijuana on the bus, that was a real
Was
thing.
that a pilot gas station? They had the subway and the Arby's
And the
attached,
Cinnabon
right? And we
and the
went in,
Cinnabon.
and then we came out, and there was a drug bust for our bus that we were on, and we were sitting
Yep.
outside, and the police had the dogs through, and they went through all of our luggage,
See, me and Brandon always.
me and Lance at that point in time, we thought all police officers work for the same people. So he was like, "Our dad's a police officer. Here, check our bags. We don't have anything, officer." And it's just like, I just wish we would shut up sometimes thinking about the things that we said. But I've been in those
Think of the
situations
police
though.
officer that saw two kids with no parents on a bus, just talking to them. So look, y'all, astrology. Back to well, hey y'all, for real, for real. We might just y'all let us know in the comments if y'all like Greyhound stories. Y'all want some more? We got
Oh
plenty.
man, plenty
Um,
on deck.
but one of my favorite things when I was driving between Louisville and Detroit was looking at the stars. Like I could point out the Big
Man,
Dipper, the Little Dipper. The sky was like always clear, super clear. It was like God was talking to me every
mm.
single trip. You know what I mean? Like in between my mama playing like Anita Baker and Angela Bassett and shit. Um,
What's that girl's name? She married. She was with Greyhound for a little bit. She was one word.
Tamia, Tamia,
Tamia,
Tamia Hill,
Tamia.
Tamia Hill. Yeah, man. Oh my goodness. But
BB and CC
these
whining during the Christmas time.
come on now, listening to the or looking at the stars and peering up and knowing that something is bigger than yourself. I think it was Joe Rogan's podcast. He said one of his teachers went up to him and said, look up in the sky. He said he looked straight up and he said that doesn't end. He said that's when Joe Rogan went on his path of like awareness and understanding. He was like, that set my mind into a curiosity that has never been
Wow.
satisfied. He said, so like I used to look up and just be like, that never ends. And I used to do the same thing. I used to like look at the stars and be like, will we ever hit that? We would never hit that. Like I could never, I probably wouldn't even get close to that.
What do you mean, like
Right.
throwing a ball and hitting it?
Anything, Brandon, anything. Like if I was strong enough to throw a ball out of the atmosphere, that motherfather would never burn. Like it would never hit that star.
One of my favorite parts of Lion King is Timon being spot on. Not
Come
Timon, I'm
on,
sorry, Pumbaa. Pumbaa
Puma.
being spot on. I just think it's
Billions of
burning gas, burning billions and billions of miles away.
what? Oh,
Pumbaa, with
Puma.
you, everything is gas.
He tried to hate on him. Timon was such a dick, bro. I watched The Lion King regularly with my children. He was such a dick.
Laughed.
He
Oh, trust me,
laughed
I
at
know you're using my Disney Plus account.
Yeah, good looking. Simba, he laughed at Simba when Simba said, "I saw my daddy in the clouds in the sky." There's a. So anyway, me being aware with the sky, I have always known my superpowers, right?
Mm.
And knowing my superpowers has like put me in touch with all the indigenous ancestry of my lineage, right? From the Dogon tribe who first plotted out the stars, who they were the first people to recognize Sirius B. Sirius B is a star system outside of the Milky Way galaxy, and they
Ooh, let me go.
properly
Let me do
identified it.
some Googles about Sirius B.
So the Dogon tribe, this is an African tribe, y'all, and they used to sit there and just look up at the stars and plotted out the entire stars every single day as the year went on. So like the phases of the moon, like they were the first to plot a year. They were the first to like really plot that out and kind of give that information to the uncivilized world, if you ask me.
And
So
we are talking about this because it is December 21st. This is what they were recording. This is the day that Black people were supposedly, based on Twitter, getting our powers officially. It was tied to the sun, or not, it's tied to the conjuncture of the Saturn, Jupiter, or whatever, and like all the. It's funny, and the memes have been coming out. But funny story is another funny story. I don't know if you guys are familiar with X-Men, and obviously we're comic booky in that regard, but in the X-Men series, they talked about on the VHS's box set, we'd be in our grandfather's house, and they talked about how when you're 13, that's when most mutants end up seeing some of their powers. Right, me and Lance, as two very curious
convinced,
like boys, were like, we knew that we were special.
convinced,
We were going to be getting our powers when we turned 13,
convinced.
and at that point in time, it was just like a series of, until we hit 13, it was just like a series of like testing out what our possibilities could be.
Constantly,
Right.
constantly
And
test,
just like thinking
constantly.
about it and like obsessing over it. And I've talked about this before, maybe not on this podcast, but my favorite X-Men was Beast Mutant. Shout out Hank McCoy, because he
Shout
was
out Hank McCoy.
extremely athletic and strong and fast, but he was also just like extremely intelligent, and was Professor X's right hand man. And I love being the Robin to the Batman. Like I love duos. I was talking to somebody else about it. Like, because everyone's like, "Oh, why don't you want to start your own podcast? Like, why are you doing with your brother?" I was like, I think I just always want to be a part of something. I like the team mentality of things. Like, I'm
Mhm.
not so individualized that I want that. I like working. I like with people. I like creating with people. I like teamwork, problem solving with people. Actually, shout out to my brother-in-law, who's also named Brandon. We were just walking the dogs. They're in town for Christmas, and he was talking about you specifically. He was like, "And your brother Lance, he seems like he's like made for this stuff. Like, he seems like he's right on now." I was like, "Well, he does this like in person, and is a host of, and like does like he's actually on the scene as well." He's like, "Hey, yeah, but he's just like really comfortable on camera. It's like he's made for this stuff. It's pretty cool to see." And I was like, "Thank you. I agree. I think he's
tell
very
people,
talented as well."
I appreciate that. Shout out Big Brandon. We're gonna call
Yeah,
you Big Brandon, even
right.
though you have
He's
Brandon
turned
size.
45. So shout out to all the we did it before December
Yeah,
birthdays. Go ahead.
that's fire. That's fire, bro. I always tell people just wait. That y'all ain't seen y'all have not. Listen here, y'all. Me and Brandon. So we talk about these things, and he talks about like he's happy to be on a team, right? But it's our team. It's like me and Brandon have kind of just been locked in since birth, and it's like we've been trying to manifest these things, and we have like it's not even been. And so from childhood, so y'all think about superpowers and y'all think about using them. Like imagine Brandon looking at a box of cream of wheat, trying to knock it off the counter, like staring at it for 10 minutes straight, trying to knock a box of
Oh
cream of wheat off the counter.
man, I tell you, our
Imagine imagine me looking at the TV and trying to make it come on,
oh
like
man,
literally, like blinking. We would hide from each other and like camouflage and just like I'm invisible right now.
right.
um
It's like that on the Guardians of the Galaxy, that character that one of those wrestlers played, Drex or something like that. But
Drax.
he was like was like standing still, and he acted like he wasn't able to be seen, and he was sitting there eating the chips. Said like
I'm
he
moving
wasn't.
so slowly
You can't
that you
even
cannot
see
pick
me.
up my you can't even see
Bro,
me.
I literally, I was like, I resonated with that very, very much. So I was like, yep, I understand the concept of just like thinking stealthily, being ninja. It's like the whole Bruce Lee thing, because we obviously grew up on those things as well.
Hmm.
It'd be nice to dive into black culture and Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee
Just
movies,
martial arts
but
in general.
yeah, exactly. So, anyways, but he said it was like, be like water, be formless, like that type of
Hmm.
mentality. And also, when I start getting older, like talking about my individual superpowers, I am freakishly strong. I know I'm a big person. Everyone
Hmm.
sees me as like
Yeah,
a large human being. What I
and agile,
actually, yes, thank you
freakishly
so
strong
much.
and agile,
That's okay.
ridiculously agile.
Now you getting me to my scout.com report. It said amazingly nimble for his size. That's I
Yeah,
love nimble
come
because
on.
nimble Newman is alliteration.
Y'all ever seen a vending machine in ballerina shoes? Hmm. Y'all ever seen that?
The U.S. Army All American game, they call me a vending machine with legs. So, anyways, but I am a very strong person. Like when I think my max bench press is 525. I think and when I was in high school in Kentucky, the state we had a state late weightlifting match. I'm sure some of you guys play high school football understand that, like, sometimes the football team just goes to weightlifting competitions to get reps in and work on being strong. And I set a state record for squat at 605. And
Listen, Brandon was the Mark Henry of Kentucky. Stop playing with him.
oh,
Y'all better stop playing with him.
shout out to the
Hey,
homie Mark Henry, bro.
hey,
I
look.
I
I
interviewed
know.
him on the
Yeah,
last
I know,
podcast, bro.
and it was
Yes,
fire.
it was so
And I was
crazy.
mad. I was mad because like you ain't challenge him to a squat off or like some type of proper
World's strongest
lifting
man.
challenge. What you call it? Cole said. Cole. Shout out Cole. Shout out Cole's place. He commented on the video. Was like, Brandon's definitely got some type of greatness squatting 700 in sophomore year. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that's definitely a
I was
superpower.
squatting 700, and then the college coaches told me don't do that again because they were like, we don't know what's going on in your high school. We don't know what plates you're using. That's not safe. You
Hmm.
blow out your knees forever. But it was funny that I will tell this little anecdote about my strength because when you get to Notre Dame and we went to college, whatever, you go around your freshman, you go around the room and the strength coach is asking who does what so they can kind of understand what groups to put you in with on the team. And I told them I squatted 700 pounds, and Michael Jr., Trevor Robinson, and Braxton Cave all like looked at each other. They told me this later on. They said they looked at each other and like, this guy, he's like squatting that much. And they said the first day we squatted, they had like we were like warming up, and it was like I was on the heavier thing because I said I did that much, and it was like 500 something, and I did a couple reps of it and locked it in, and they all found each other and looked at each other and was like, oh shit, maybe he wasn't lying. Like I don't even know about Cap. I Cap free on this side of town. So yeah.
See what y'all mean. And y'all got my brother messed up. See, that's another thing that y'all need to understand. He talking about he works better on a team, right? His superpower has always been, uh, what do you say? Uh, I've always been the brains of the family, but when it came to brute strength, you got the lion's
No,
share.
yeah. I've always been on the
What is it?
shallow end of the gene pool.
Gene pool, right.
Shout out Scar.
Shout out Scar. But no, like my superpowers have always been mental, like mind reading, right? Super intention, intuition. My intuition has never been wrong. I kind of
Right.
always fall
He's had the
through.
superpowers of the paraplegics.
There you go. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there was only one. The
What?
paraplegic. There was
Oh,
only
well,
one
yeah, sure.
paraplegic. Hey, shout out to X-Men for y'all like disability progressive ideas at the
Oh,
very beginning of the
so
joint.
progressive. About
What?
everything, damn near. There's a
Almost.
meme that's going on talking about they just screenshot it during the mutant times or whatever, and it's some man in court pointing back at Nightcrawler and
Mm.
talking about the tweets that are going on right now with black people talking about superpowers. And they said this is Fox News tomorrow, and it's like, you call that human? Nightcrawler just back there slumped over like Kurt Vonnegut or whatever his name is.
Look here. Look
We're
here.
getting really nerdy right
Nightcrawler.
now, but just
No, look, I feel like it transcends culture, right? X-Men is becoming American culture because of its proximity to the social fabric of America,
as it
right?
always
You
has.
you look to DC for these things, you can't find it because it's all this other stuff, but like Marvel has always been very about that life. So it resonates. It's not even nerdy. I don't feel it's nerdy. I never think it's nerdy because like there's anime and then there's I mean, like, there's comics and stuff, and then there's real deal nerds. There's people that's gonna
Right.
argue what Cyclops' breath smelled like after he kissed Jubilee, because Bobby the Iceman was eating a Trident gum, and Jubilee takes the powers. Like, what? Who gives a fuck, bro? Well, I don't
Right.
get into it that deep, bro. Like,
Yeah. You said
so
you were saying Jubilee, but you meant Rogue.
I
And
did mean Rogue.
I'm mad
I
that I
did mean
knew
Rogue.
that, because that's nerdy too. But obviously, I
Brandon
think
comes
I
from a
do.
world. Brandon comes from. I come from a world of like artists and intellectuals, so it's all these nerds and stuff. Brandon comes from a world of like, hit me,
Yeah,
hit
jocks and whatnot.
me.
Yeah, no, it is funny because like perception is reality. Like when our only comment on our Instagram feed is so funny. I'm trying to, because basically
I thought that was
I've
a comment.
no. Oh, this somebody was like so funny.
Yeah, I thought that was.
That's
I was
me
like, great.
stalling as I pull it up.
It's a great,
Uh,
great comment. Thank you.
so funny. No, we've had one rating, and it's called the Newman Brothers from Whistle 502. He said, I've been a big fan since the podcast conception. It's great to hear Lance outside of poetry and hosting. Just as I thought he's into his bag of knowledge, and Brandon does a great job letting him expand on why it's related to race, but also telling him maybe it's not all about race, which is so
Mhm.
funny because it's all about perception. Because everywhere I've been since I've left Lance, people have been telling me like, dude, it's not always about race. And I was like, y'all don't know my brother. Like, I'm taking it easy on y'all. And I'm in the middle with y'all. Y'all don't even know. So it's always about who you standing next to.
Man, because you look. I always think about that, Brandon. Always like, I think about your career and just how y'all. Brandon has always been just the hard worker. He's always worked
Now,
hard. I
oh,
have
I
been
did
the.
want to say this. Because you talked about how smart you were and like that being your superpower. I worked hard at being trying to be intelligent and smart and working hard at like writing and reading and things like that. Because I wanted to be complimented the way Lance was always complimented. Growing up, we'd be in the barbershop and our dad would be like, "Oh, football, football, football. Yeah, this little one brain right here. Name a dinosaur." I bet he'd tell you all about it. Talking about Lance. And I was like, man, I want that down the store comment. Like, I want to know about I want to be a walking zoo book.
Oh
so,
God,
and then Lance
Zoo
always like
Books
never
was
took school
hitting.
very seriously because it was very easy to him. And I was always like working really hard and like showing my work with my mother. And like basically, I ended up training myself to be very scholarly. And now like fell into some intelligence, but it's always just like came second nature to Lance. So I did want to jump in and
Yeah,
say
but
that.
that, but we are the yin and the yang. So where he has hard work, I have laziness, right? And where he lacks in natural intellect, I have. So it's like I'm super lazy about things. It's not good. It's like um I will probably get an opportunity, and I don't know. Hopefully, I wouldn't be lazy. I haven't been lazy regular or lately. Lately, I've been in my bag, but so
Listen, life, and that's why I want to do this. About life is always about improving, and stepping out of your comfort zone, and like, it's always about improving. I think we settle in on like what we know and what we do as like just like an easy way of doing things, but like there's some fruit that comes from responsibility and like learning and growing. Shouts out to Raina and Natasha, our cousins. They were live on Facebook this weekend. Michelle had them up and just put it on. They were talking about religion and God and the messages that they feel God is speaking to us through for in it's 2020 right now, and like how ironically enough people are revealing themselves while wearing masks because you can't reveal your heart
mm,
and things like that. So I jumped
mm.
in from Michelle's page and I was like, listen, and they were talking about how Raina was saying I don't really do this. By the way, these are our cousins in Detroit who like kind of help raise us in a specific way and like very important to us and stuff. But anyways, we were
Raina,
saying
maybe Tasha. What was you doing? If you listening, Tasha, I want to know where you was at
She,
all them
well, she talked
summers.
about this on the thing. She said she was busy, like trying. She was the oldest of the three sisters, and she was
Right.
trying to set an example. Like she was at basketball practice and like always like trying to like
She
show them,
was.
be the model. But anyway,
She
so
was working.
she and there was a lot of pressure that she talked about with that. But she was saying that
Mhm.
they were stepping outside their comfort zone by doing this and getting on live and talking. And I came in, I was like, hey, thank y'all for doing this. Like I think people are going to benefit from hearing y'all message. I thank y'all for stepping out of your comfort zone. Keep doing it. Like, thank you so much. And then she stopped and said, I want to say shout out to you and Lance because watching y'all work together is what inspired me to ask Tasha to jump on here and do this right now.
Well,
So with our family, it's like an all boats rising things. And I really love that, like, this is happening right now for whatever reason.
yeah, as the stars are aligning, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey,
All
that's
right,
what we talked about.
our family are characters, and our story and our background
They're so funny.
is. People be like, man, my life's a movie, right? People be like, my life's a movie. No, you're like, it's a lifetime movie, maybe. You know what I mean?
Okay,
It's like,
okay. We don't have to downtrot anyone else's lives in comparison to ours, but we've
oh,
experienced some things. That's why
right,
I
you're
do
right.
shit. I do
You're right.
shit.
You're right.
I
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah,
You're right. You're right. You're right.
yeah.
No,
Spread love.
you're right. You're right. You're right. Spread love. But it's the Jack Harlow effect. It's like who would have thought, right? Like if y'all come and y'all look in Kentucky, y'all will find some stories that you'll be like, well, who would have thunk it?
Yeah,
Who would have thunk it?
we're
Last
state
one
state
out.
state that borders the most other states. I've not said that before on this podcast. That we're a melting pot, and there's a lot of stories that come, and a lot of people traveling in and out of that place, especially in Louisville.
Come on,
But anyways,
people, give us our love letter, man. Um, I'm talking about now a lot of people on my Facebook, they were talking. I said, "What superpowers y'all got?" And there were some funny ones. There were some like people that took it very seriously and was like, "I'm already these things," and like stuff like that. But
I'm invisible.
there was a lot of like sarcasm, right? There's a lot of like, yeah, whatever. And I'm a person of thought, Brandon. I believe that if we all believed it, then it would exist. Like I believe that these things, right? Like most of the
Yeah,
things that
that's fair.
exist are social constructs that we have given faith to. We've given faith into physical money. We've given faith into like over militarizing or heavy military presence. We've given faith in just all these in mass incarceration. We create these things that we give faith to. um People being sarcastic, stop being sarcastic about your superpowers. You look, y'all, 2021, we're no longer being sarcastic about our superpowers. All right, that when you say it in that playful voice, it becomes this non-serious playful thing. But if you like start saying, hey, I can create fire from my hands. My homie Kendrick, he can make his hands sweat on the spot.
Nah,
He's always thought he had flame powers. Like he said, I got fire in another life, bro.
how's Kendrick doing?
Oh, awesome. That man, well, I need to bring him on the
I
podcast and
like.
let
Oh,
him
I
tell
really
his
liked
story.
him. Like of your friends that was like around, but not always around. I always liked him. That's so funny that he can make us palm sweat out of nowhere. That
Instantly.
is some. That would make you feel like you just need a little spark, and
Just a little bit.
you flame throwing.
Come on. It might be on some avatar, like you got to focus on a ball. You have to make a ball, and then from the ball, you expand. Like, let me get my water bending together. Like, y'all believe in y'all superpowers, man. Stop playing, and don't
Yeah.
hurt yourself. Don't hurt
Don't
yourself
hurt
trying to.
yourself. Oh, it's like, hey, I mean, let's bring it back to the Bible because that's just so disrespectful. The Bible, but I like to play with words. But just call it the Bible. Um, but
No, sorry, Dad.
I was reading recently, and it was I think it was Matthew Matthew
Oh,
24 verse something, and it says uh like just basically like don't test God, like don't like prove to others that God exists by like putting him to the test. Because like some was like, why don't you walk off the building and have God like grab you like and like lift you and make you fly? It's like, all right, now don't test God now.
mm-hmm.
Don't try to prove your superpower so much you go out there and get killed. Don't David Blaine yourself.
Come
There's
on.
only one David Blaine.
And
I mean,
he ties himself to air balloons. I'm not hearing it. His
oh my
his
gosh,
latest
bro,
his latest magician stunt was
that was not even a stunt. He
completely
tried to act like he
safe.
was holding on to the balloons like by hand, gripping them. And then I saw his hands loosen. And I was like, wait a minute. And he's tied to the damn. He's tethered to
Ooh.
the damn balloons.
Fun fact about magic, y'all. Magic was created by actually I'm not gonna say was created, it was practiced in Egypt by the pickpockets. So like pickpocketing and like the people in the streets of Egypt um would like do these magic tricks to get people's wallets up out of them and stuff. Um
I
so
believe
it's
that.
and that was like the lower form. If you were really good at it, then you turned into a priest or something like that. And y'all can look up my check me on these things, right? But it is of us. It is an indigenous thing of indigenous people. We definitely have powers, and all we need to do is believe in them. We haven't had this alignment in 800 years. That must mean something. Imagine what happened 800 years ago. Like 800 years ago, chaos descended upon the world on some individualistic, capitalistic crap. But now we in this new 800, we gonna evolve.
But black people have black powers, and that's to talk about like don't make fun of your shit. Like the more we make fun of it, I mean, obviously we're doing it for Twitter and things like that. But I guarantee you, so we walking with our chest out a little bit bigger, a little bit bolder, and then you
Mhm.
starting to believe that, like, you know what I'm saying, we've been special. We've been special. If it takes some joke meme and some planets moving around for everybody to tap in and start linking together and growing and creating together to prove how special we are on a global scale. Shit, now's the time. Ain't no time like the present. All right.
Come
Okay.
come
All
on.
right. Shit. Go ahead and transition this. I know I said you have letting you do your thing, but
No,
it's
no. Look,
next thing on the rundown.
I was going to transition. I wanted to make sure we got our top three out. Um,
Top three
so
what?
one more superpower. You named two: strength and hard work. What would your third superpower be?
Oh, is hard work one? I would say I wanted to talk, I guess, specifically
Hard
for
work
hard
was
work.
one.
Well, hard work specifically because it's about kind of like focus, like the ability to focus on a task, and maybe it's like a manifestation of things. I
Mm,
was talking to somebody recently and was saying it's funny how choosing what you want to be in life is one thing, and it seems easier to accomplish than figuring out who you want to be. And I think
mm.
that's a big distinction, and like focus is a part of it. And focusing on that Wheaties box or not Wheaties box, cream and wheat box, trying to knock it over is a part of it. But I do think I want to talk about the fact that, like, Hawkeye, for example, who's like, could be gifted in like being an archer and like hand-eye coordination, but it's practice that makes perfect. It's like the Kobe effect, and that's why one of the reasons why when he passed, it was such a big deal. Is like if you put in the work to, like, you can be gifted, you can be talented, but the work you put in to make it so that, like, you are that always, and like that is like an actual part of your arsenal. Like Lance just pulling out that rap at the beginning of this podcast, like making sure that you put the time in so that you can exude that power whenever you need to tap into it. That's a part of it as well. Like that's a part of the superpowers.
Good transition. Superpowers are passed down, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlethems.
Yes.
Superpowers are genetic. Now we don't know what Gianna, right? Rest in peace, Gianna. Right? We don't know
Rest
what
in peace,
Kobe's daughter
Gianna.
Gianna, right? But what would it look like for her to have her dad's superpowers? You know what I'm saying? Just
I
like
mean,
the
she was
X Men
already
and
kind of exacting it. I mean, I don't want to take social media videos, but like she was, while the other girls weren't necessarily interested in sports or basketball in the way to like to emulate that and be a part of that, like she felt like the future of the WNBA based on like the she had a team called that Kobe has this basketball studio out in the middle of California. Um, Joy and I and the Maybe I'm Crazy team, Heller, Donnie, we all went out there to film that Jesus Shuttlesworth like recreation film, that basketball thing. Remember that
mm-hmm,
sketch we put out
mm-hmm.
during the March Madness? But we went out to Kobe's facilities to coach, and he has a it's called the Mamba Academy or whatever it is. So she was definitely on her way, but it's just a really, really impressive studio out there. All the smoke, Up in Smoke podcast, or all the smoke podcasts, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. They had an interview with Kobe there before he passed. But anyways, yeah, you said
Shout out to both of them. They are
Yeah.
really they're really doing a lot of good. But I'm thinking about superpowers, and I want to talk about great sons, right? So
Yes.
like just great children, I guess, in general, but like the superpowers that people have. So I don't know if you saw, but Tiger Woods' son was like killing the game. I don't even watch golf, Brandon. Now look, y'all, our listeners, I know y'all are varied and wide. There's been a few randoms that hit me up on Twitter. Thank y'all so much for listening and following. I do not understand golf. Excuse me, let me take that back. I completely understand golf. I am not interested in golf. Um, Golf was only interesting to me, like many other black people, when Tiger Woods entered and began to do well. Um, First, that's one just note about representation and how y'all whole thing was flipped on his head when Tiger Woods. Because when Tiger Woods came on the scene, is that when Happy Gilmore came out?
Stop.
Was it?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
I mean, he was he was a
He
professional
had been in
golfer.
there.
He was a professional golfer. He was a professional golfer basically in 1997 is when he won his first Masters, and he was 21 years old. He was a professional golfer before that. I
Oh,
think he was a professional golfer in his
he's
late
LeBron James
late
ish.
teams. And yeah, he was he was he
So
was
he's
he
LeBron
went.
James.
That's why shout out to his son. Great name, Charlie Axel Woods. Um, he's 11 years old and like already on his path, and like that's around the time that people knew that like that Tiger was going to be a problem.
It's hard.
Yeah,
Well, Tiger's son is also going to be a problem.
right.
Apparently, the
That's what
man.
Charlie Axel
Um,
Woods.
they Charlie Axel Woods. What?
Say it. You gotta say what you got to say about his name.
Um, it reminds me of Twisted Metal.
What a great game.
What a great game! If you all
That
ever
game was
played Twisted Metal
hard.
with the cars, there was a guy named Axel who was the only black guy that character
But
that you
they
could
give him
recognize.
no
Gave him no
protection.
protection,
He
just
was a
two big
motorcycle.
wheels. He wasn't almost like he was two big wheels. He was in between two big wheels, strapped up,
Stop.
like arms,
Yes.
like on some bondage stuff. It was very disturbing, Twisted Metal.
Wow, you remember
Um,
his name? I thought Axel was the ice cream truck.
no, 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 no. It's
Twisted
clown,
Metal's a
but
what I would do to get hold of a Twisted Metal game.
hey, y'all, Brandon used to go. Me and Brandon, Twisted Metal. What was the NBA hoops where it was it was before Jam, NBA Jam, I
Yeah.
think.
Yes, Lance. How
NBA
you not know?
Jam.
I was like, I know you're not talking about that. And then
But yeah,
also one thing we did with our high school friends, and this was just on. I don't know how many people did this, but Madden, but rushing attack. Playing rushing attack on Madden and just listening to the soundtrack go over and over again, like that
hey,
was
so let's
hard.
you let me drive the boat, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
I'm letting the conversation go to where it's going, all right?
Okay.
And I want to talk a little bit about that, about like growing up with different friends. Me and Brandon shared the same friends up until like maybe middle school, maybe like I was in middle school, and Brandon's friends were majority white. um I started to veer more towards my black friends. Justin was my interim, was my light skinned interim to
You like
my black my blackest friend.
you was transitioning out of white
I
friends
was
and just
transition.
got a black friend with a white dad.
So Brandon's friends, right? Shout out to Eric. We will be in
Eric.
Brandon's basement, and they had this game, which is very problematic to think now. But it was called Spear the Queer, or
Smear the
Schmear.
queer,
It
smear
was
the
Smear.
queer, smear like it's same type of spear. It's the
I
same
I
concept.
always so look, y'all. I always thought it was Spear because you would literally tackle. the person. So like you would sit on just opposite ends of the room, and then you would run at each other very quickly and just
People
tackle
played
each
it.
other.
People played Smear Clear. It was in Moonlight. They were playing that game in the movie Moonlight.
How problematic is that, first of all?
Yeah,
But second of all,
it's called. I mean, the game is. It's called that, and we apologize for the nomenclature, but it's really just tackle the guy with the ball, and the person
it
goes
is
back and forth, touching opposite walls until they get tackled. And obviously, it was
obviously
until I
Brandon
got
was.
tired.
Listen,
That
Brandon,
was me. That was me testing my superpowers out.
that was literally one of the fun moments. Like that was one of the best things because we would have sleepovers together. So I would just sit
Right.
there and watch Brandon destroy these people, like you know, destroy everybody in the room, black, white. It didn't matter who was there at the
Whoever stood
sleepover.
up.
Hey, why are white sleepovers just that much better?
Unfortunately, it's because of. Now I don't say that much better, but they have gadgets and gadgets.
It's to
Like
show
they
you the
literally
racial
have the
wealth gap.
gadgets. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
It's
don't
it's,
want to
it's
say
the
that.
racial wealth gap.
It's the
The
racial wealth gap.
pantry, the snacks.
Oh,
Do you
I didn't
remember
know
cake?
pantries. I didn't know. One of my 5 minute sets that I used to do in New York was about my first white sleepover and
No,
how.
we've talked
Yeah.
about pantries on the podcast. I don't want to get into the pantries. I want
No,
to
I'm not
talk
talking about
about
pantry. I'm just saying my first white sleepover is like it was a big deal. Like I remember mom telling me how shit was going to go down. Like she said, basically in the morning when you wake up, there's going to be donuts on the table. That is breakfast. Like that's what they call. That's what they think is breakfast. Don't worry about it. You can eat it or not eat it. We're gonna get some eggs and stuff after I pick you up. There was like she said she could put me on game. She was like, if you shower, which I highly doubt you will, they might just give you a towel. Ask for a wash rag so you
as
can
for
use
one.
that because they're not gonna give you one. Like I was like, and I didn't think till later, like, how did my mom know so much? That's what you're talking about assimilation. Black people have to know
Hmm.
so much about white people to get
Yeah.
around. It's
Yep.
crazy.
Just
And
so
white
you
people
ain't at
just
the
found out about
sleepover.
black people.
You had this sleepover staring at the subway spread like, oh my god, look at this. But you got to keep your feelings inside. Like this ain't
Y'all do
nothing.
this every
I
night.
see this all the time. This ain't nothing. But look, I'm gonna wrap it back around. Now when we talk about privilege and we talk about
Subways like ordering the six the
what is the
6 foot
cookies? It
subway
was it was
platter.
like everything. No, they had the ones where you can make your own sandwich,
They
Brandon.
will
Like you
go
can pick the
out.
bread. Go all
Oh
out.
my
As
god,
many
that's
cookies
so
as you want to.
funny.
You can
That's
literally be
so
making as much
funny.
noise as you want in this big ass basement. So
Oh, they had a pool table down there
come
on
on, what?
carpet. When we do that at?
Whew. But no, I want to talk. So let's talk about. Let's keep it going. I'm gonna use that to segue into because we were talking about like
The
sons and
Suns,
great
yes.
sons, right?
Shouts
You
out to
have always
Serena as well. Serena's daughter is getting into the tennis game, and she's gonna be doing with
Serena
her dad.
Williams.
Yeah, her daughter.
How old is her
She's
daughter?
she's young, but she got there. She was a
How old
part
is
of the.
her
She was
daughter?
a part of the. She was a part of the. There's a group. There's a text that, or there's a tweet that went out with LeBron James and Bronny, Tiger Woods and Charlie, Williams and his daughter, and then Ice Cube put up, or Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson Jr. from I mean, I don't want to say straight out Compton, but that's where he was at playing his father. But like he put it out there, and it was like, let's make a thread of these famous father and son, entities and people out there in the
I,
wind.
so everybody needs to like just understand that there's going to be a class or a group or a demographic of famous people children, right? And that will consume a lot of our news, like our entertainment news. I feel
I feel like it already has. I mean,
like the
Charlie
more
Sheen's
famous,
dad is
right,
famous.
right, right. Right. But I feel like it's more it's to more of an extent now, right? Like you don't always know. You didn't know Rashida Jones was Quincy Jones's daughter
You
if you
did.
like
I feel like it's
met.
not. I don't think it's so much.
Mm,
There is a part of it, like obviously these people being older, but it's about us growing up with these people now. You know what I mean? It's
straight up.
like
There we
people
go. There we go.
are looking at like draft classes of like Charles Woodson Jr. or like like basically like big name people juniors, and like, oh damn, I've lived long enough to see the child of this thing. Like, and I guess it was like a
or the train wreck.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
which is what you
come
was.
on, Lionel Richie. Like, think about Nicole Richie was only famous because she was Lionel Richie's daughter.
Oh, that's disturbing, and it sucks. Like you gotta, and I don't want my kids to be like. Anyway, so to talk about a child that probably ain't gonna be shit, Byron Trump, or excuse me, talk about his daddy. Um, Donald Trump has been.
But I don't know. Byron tall as hell. He might dunk on somebody. That boy long. They got
He
a
will
little.
be the one though. He will be the one to like flip on his family and be like Tom Hanks's son who speaks in patois regularly.
Now you mentioned this when we were prepping. You do know that he had a rap career and he insisted on saying the N word and has defended it. And he's come back now, and that's when the patois started. But I don't want to get away from your joke, but I did want to let you know that you talking about Chad, and Chad has been known to be a rapper who raps the N word.
Damn, Chad. I wanted to like you, bro. Remember, you do black things well, you get props, but you have to also follow black rules, and you just can't say that word, fam. But anyway, Donald Trump is trying to. Well, there was an argument within the Oval Office between him, Michael Flynn, his former lawyer, and like all his aides. And Michael Flynn floated around the idea of him declaring martial law so that he can overturn the elections or uh, re-vote, like have people vote again in the states that he lost. He said you can take the military, you can make them go into those cities and make them uh, take the ballot again, right? And I was like, and like his aides, there's a reason why I turned into arguments because his aides was like, what are y'all fucking talking about? Y'all cannot be serious right now. Like, are y'all talking about declaring martial law to overturn an election? This is the most seditious, most anti-patriotic, this is the craziest stuff in the world. So that so Trump is he's still in there, y'all, and he's still tripping. He's just like a
He's still in there
toddler.
because he wasn't supposed to go anywhere. He still has time, and obviously it's going to be January very soon, and the
But that's the thing,
inauguration's
though.
coming.
Could you imagine like your moving company saying, or not your moving, but your eviction? They saying, hey, you gotta. It's not eviction. I don't want to call it eviction, but like, hey, you gotta leave on this date, January 20th, and you like, all right, I'll leave on January 20th, but you ain't packed nothing. You ain't like got
Oh
ready to
yeah,
move out. Like you still got.
yes.
So January 20th come and movers is there to take all your stuff out, and you sitting there with all your stuff still in the house. Like you look crazy as
Well,
hell.
it's also like when you were like adamant about not going to school, and it was like, no, you going to school, but you didn't like pack your book bag or get dressed properly or like do all the stuff you were supposed to do by yourself to get ready for school, and then it's time to go, and your mom was like, "What's up? Like we supposed to go to school? You ain't ready." He's like, "Well, what's gonna happen now? I'm not ready for school. What are you gonna do, Mom? It looks like I might get a day off." It's like, no, get your ass up out of here. I'll send the stuff, or you ain't going to school
Brandon
with nothing. You gonna go
Brandon
to school
thinks
half naked and without your Lisa Frank folder.
Brandon thinks that joke is funny, but I resent it because I was the one that drove him to school, and he would take forever to come outside as if he like listen, y'all, it would piss me off so bad. Like
Yeah.
I will be ready to leave, and Brandon, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he was
I
doing.
admittedly for a long time, and this hasn't changed recently, didn't have a lot of respect for other people's time. I think that encapsulates all of it. Didn't have a lot of respect
So
for other people's
so
time.
time out. So time out. While I was sitting in the cold ass car, like we still
You
got to
could have
pick up
warmed it up.
things. Whatever, it's warming up, but it's still not. The engine got to be moving for it. Anyway, I'm sitting there pissed, beeping the horn, like calling you and everything else, and you are just like, what are you doing? You sitting in there, fuck
I don't
Lance?
know. I don't know.
You were just sitting in there saying fuck Lance.
Maybe no, not fuck Lance, but like fuck your time.
I
Like,
should have left. I should
but
have left
like,
your
I
ass.
mean, but it's the same thing with Karen. Karen was shout out to Eric. She would pick me up before football practice. She'd be waiting out there for a long time, waiting for my ass to get out there. Like, this was something I did frequently, and it was, and I'm not. I don't know. I was hurt people hurt people. You know what I'm saying? I've healed since then. I'll tell you, like I've rebelled in specific ways. I've come back around. I apologize.
Slow people make other slow people late. It's terrible.
Oh man, slow people.
What you call it? So that's one. Trump vaccines is out. Get your vaccine today at Costco.
You know anybody who's
You
gotten the
get
vaccine?
nope.
I know some people that have gotten the vaccine, and a friend of mine who Terry, birthday's January December 23rd. She turns her phone off on her birthday because like she doesn't want to like think about the fact that nobody's reaching out. It's pretty sad shit. But anyways, she's working as a medical student at Ohio State University, and she said that there's like some like hierarchy beef amongst medical practicing doctors and stuff like that. That like they mad that they get the vaccine on, they're scheduled to get it Wednesday instead of Tuesday. And it's like, y'all, everybody just chill. Everybody gonna get it. Y'all gonna get it. Everybody's supposed to get it, gonna get it. Everybody can chill. She got the vaccine. I was being ignorant on the phone with her. Michelle was talking to her. I was like, I said, so you got some symptoms now? She's like, it's not good. I was like, don't you, when you get vaccine, don't you get a little bit of whatever you try to get vaccinated from? Like you ain't got no foggy, you ain't got foggy brain. I said,
I
you
think
can
that
still
was valid.
taste.
I think that was valid. I think those are valid questions.
Of course you would, but no, I've known some people that have gotten vaccines, and they still like you take the picture, you put it in black and white, and you post it, and it's like yeah, okay. I mean, it's hell. It is part of history. It's first. I mean, we're in uncharted territory still. The fact that help is on the way and is here, quote unquote, is its own thing. But Lance Lance had a great take. Lance had a great take on it. And I told Terry this as well. Said, would you say I treat vaccines like getting a new game system? Y'all can buy it fresh off the lot, deal with the bugs, and I'll get it when it's discounted and fixed, and
Come on, I didn't buy a PlayStation 4 until like 2 years ago. All right, I am here for the wait. I am here for the kind of process time between the two. And see, y'all, they have different companies making the vaccine, right? So like at first you're like, good, I have a choice, or good, more companies are kind of pitching in. But to me, all I see is like a wholesale on couches, and two couch stores like are trying to offload their couches. It's like, here, try my couch. My couch is good for your back. Oh no, try my couch. My couch doesn't come, only comes with a little Bell's palsy.
Stop. It's the same as when these hand sanitizers came out. Like when COVID started, people was making hand sanitizers like a mother. And the COVID, you needed whatever Corona-19, you needed 70% or more of like alcohol for it to be effective. So people was putting out like just like 69.9%, to the point now where I've seen a lot of hand sanitizers that I'm so used to the 99.9. I've seen some 99 hand sanitizers. I'm like, okay, does this shit even work? Like what y'all doing with that 0.9? You know what I'm saying? But there has been a real competition and a push and a challenge to like provide the thing that people need, because I think the government's paying for it anyway. So like, it's like, yeah, why not get the vaccine when available? I guess I don't know. I think I'm more interested in the Walgreens spit test. That's like 20 second or 20 minutes to find out if you have COVID or not. I think that's kind of more beneficial for the majority of America, while everyone kind of slowly gets their vaccines. But hey, it's out here. People are getting the shots in their arm, and people are, I think they said one of the side effects is like feeling really sick one of those days, like 2 or 3 days afterwards, and like getting like feeling really sick, but then bouncing back afterwards. Obviously, you expect that with any type of vaccines that you would have to take. But I don't know, Lance, you seem like you're I don't even know how. Yeah, when do you think you would even? You probably.
I'm not going to. I went to Africa, right? I went to Senegal, and you're supposed to
you drink some water and you good.
they give you this yellow card, and the yellow card has like all these shots you're supposed to take, and each shot has like a price number next to it. So like if you was to get all the shots necessary to go out of the country, it will cost like $12,000 on God, Brandon, like the amount of these
No,
shots.
I believe you.
So the doctor is going through the shots. Like, do you want to get this? Do you want to get this? Do you want to get this? I was like, Doc, which one do I need? Like, she was like, well, I mean, you don't need any of them. You might definitely want some malaria pills and da 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 da. I said, how much is malaria pills? She said, $60 a pill. I was like, look, I'm taking my chances. I'm just gonna go over
Stop.
there. Get ain't no stop. I didn't take no malaria
You didn't
pills. I
get
didn't
no
take
type of immunity when you went over to
you.
Africa?
You had to
Not
get
immunity,
one.
but you didn't get no vaccines.
There was one shot. I think it was like two shots, yellow fever and measles. I think those was like the two that you had to get. Even if you had already been vaccinated as a child and everything else, like you had to get those two. Um, but other than that, no, no.
Oh, actually, we talking about stories from our childhood. Here's another funny story. This is this is like this oddly enough defines Lance and I in a very real way. Lance almost died when he got the chicken pox. I had it so lightly that everybody thought I was gonna get it again.
Yes, yes. See, people don't understand that either. Brandon's immune system and just in general internal workings have always been good. He's never needed braces. He's
Nope.
never needed glasses.
Never had a
Like I've
cavity.
I've always been the deficient child. And again, this feeds to that. This feeds to the Muhammad Ali theory. I'm just saying. But
Deficient.
Brandon,
You're not deficient.
I,
You
I am
reckless
the.
and you don't give a fuck about advice unless you get taking it
Stop that.
yourself.
What does advice got me not taking advice got to
Don't
do with
eat
my
that
teeth being
candy.
crooked? My teeth were still crooked, Brandon. I had a head full of teeth without candy even being represented to my diet. What are you
You
talking
know what's
about?
so funny about thinking about going back and thinking about your headgear that you was wearing? I I didn't make fun of you for any of those things. I was like envious
You
of you
didn't?
that you had to like you
Yeah.
got to wear a helmet to bed.
Yeah, Brandon wanted that for some strange reason. It's like little brother envy, but the big brother's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?
No, I
Get out of
wear
here!"
braces and glasses because Lance had them.
What the brains together? This so sweet. But no, Brandon. Not only that, I had allergies real bad. Brandon had eczema as a
Oh,
child. Like Brandon had eczema that was like but I was allergic to everything. They do a test when to
yeah.
see if you're allergic to stuff where they
People know
poke
that.
little dots on your arm or on
87
your back
allergens on your back or whatever, and they
on
see
your back.
what inflames.
Listen here, there were so many. They was like, oh my God, there's a lot of stuff inflamed on here. So
My
that's
mom had to
another
get rid
thing.
of her cat because Lance was allergic to cats, dogs, all that. And I was thinking I did the
Grass.
same test. I was the only thing I was allergic to was Kentucky bluegrass, which is ironic because I was playing football and like I was allergic to the grass. So it wasn't even eczema. Like I was allergic to the grass. I'm allergic to the grass in Kentucky.
And his superpower makes his skin turn into the rock monster from Fantastic Four, the thing
Hey,
when grass, when
Ben Grimm,
allergens
shout
touch it,
out.
to protect his skin. Now, me on the other hand, I had to get two shots a week, two allergy shots a week. That's how severe my allergies were. I had to
You
keep
did.
Benadryl. I had to keep
You
Claritin.
stayed with a lollipop.
Like I always had to go to the doctor. One of the worst times my mother ever like spanked me or whooped me was because of the allergy thing. So I'm not comfortable with needles. I'm not comfortable with like medical procedures. You know what I mean? I smoke tobacco quite regularly. I can feel it in my chest. I'm pretty sure. No, for real. I can feel it in my chest.
You
And
should
I'm pretty
stop killing
sure.
yourself one of these months,
No,
just for a
hey,
little
so
bit.
I go on my little cleanses.
You probably weakening your superpowers.
Whatever, man, is here. No, so that's the thing too. Talk about like setting your intentions. I have been like really beating myself up lately about doing certain things, but whatever, I'm still doing it. And I'm pretty sure, like I read palms right now. I'm putting my hand up to the camera, and if y'all can see my lifeline, it cuts off at a certain point. It continues, but I go through some near death experience at some point in my life, um,
Yeah,
and
that
I'm
shit
pretty
look
sure.
like that might have been what Jesus' shit looked like.
It's on both of them. It's on both of them.
Damn. What do you mean?
Yeah,
When you say you
but
can't, you read palms. Oh, look at my shit.
Put it up
My,
to the
my
camera.
palm, my palm, that shit split into two.
But it's just
I
strong.
become a Siamese twin at some point.
No, no. All that means is like you have. Oh no, it means you have two lives. I think that one is going to be your success and your fame life, and the other is going to be your like
Nobody
personal,
care about
internal
success
life.
and fame, but okay,
No,
whatever you say.
I
You
know.
the one read palms.
I do.
Continue.
I do. So so I know there's
That's just an
something.
excuse to get a girl's hand in your hand. I know that.
I am very in tune with those things, and I know that one day, I will. I might have cancer. I might get lung cancer. It's just one of those realities that I've kind of come to terms with in partaking in my particular
Oh,
vice.
why
You know what
though?
I'm saying?
I reject that strongly because like talking about self improvement. I got this ice in my mouth. Talk about self improvement. Like, why not take control of your life and like just do right and not do right, but like just heal yourself because you have the ability to.
Yeah, I think it's more a personality trait, like a soul personality trait that's been imprinted on my soul, like wherever I was in any
Some people
moment
call
in my.
that trauma.
No, 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 no. It's like a OG stuff. It's like I was some wise old man in the African village hitting my pipe, like a OG. You feel me? And there's people who smoke and live to be 100.
You
You know
know
what
what
I'm saying? It's
OGs
like,
are? The people that been through some shit, aka trauma.
well, either way, it's imprinted on my soul, and I feel the most myself, unfortunately, when I'm doing it. So I need to change those things or add different personalities or add different pieces to define myself. That's all that means. BB, I get it. I'm going to stop.
No, no, I
One
don't need
day.
you to stop. I just want if you do. If you, I mean, this person I heard you say you feel tobacco in your lungs. I say if it's getting close to it, like you actually feel like it's unhealthy because you are what
Not
you're a year
breathing
away from
fully
your
in.
Jesus year, which I
Mhm.
take a lot of faith in, or a lot of put a lot of weight in. 33 years old. Shout out to TT. She's in her Jesus year.
4 months away from that. And I thought that 2032 was, I thought I was in my Jesus year.
Nope, 33.
33. Okay, even better because that's another thing I've been pushing. That's another way I've been like convincing myself like I'll quit on my birthday. I always like my New Year's resolutions always happen on my birthday. So when I stop things, it's usually around my birthday. Um, but I say all that to say, like, I don't know what I said that to say for.
I don't
Oh,
know.
oh, oh,
Sound
oh,
like you
oh.
might need to clear your throat though.
No, 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 no. If I get cancer, Dr. Sebi diet and whatever Gregory Isaac was on, or yeah, that's the comedian's name, Gregory Isaac. Whatever those two cats was on, right? That's what I'm gonna be on. Natural stuff. Don't come at me with no chemo. Don't
Okay.
come at me with none of that.
So here's the January 1st, Michelle and I are going to be, and you should know this when you're side of town, because we're gonna be back in Louisville around this time. But January 1st, we're doing vegan for a month, just to see what our bodies do. Saying no to all animal proteins. That includes fish, that includes eggs, that includes cheese. Like we're shutting ourselves off from animal products for the month of January just to see how we feel
Mm.
on the other side of it. And we're kind of scared, but also excited about it, and should be fun. Like it's always nice to give your body a little reset. That's why people do like water fast and certain like
Yeah,
juice
yeah,
cleanses and things like letting
right,
your
right.
pH levels in your own body kind of level out because everything that you put in your body does have an effect on you. So you said that
Hmm.
all the things you do help you be your best version of you. I think that's the best version of you that you would like, but maybe one of these
Just
versions was
comfortable,
some.
not best version, but just
Well, yeah,
comfortable.
but that's what I'm saying. Like that's something that you prefer, and like challenging yourself to do to tap into another version of yourself on some Super Saiyan shit. You might need to like take something off to pick up something else. Like discipline is a big part of survival, in my opinion. That's
My
why
best
that's why I like to
version,
push.
my best version of myself was my like 16, 17-year-old self before I started
Stop.
masturbating.
Have you thought about taking just like a month off of that?
I yeah. I yeah. I do. All my vices are enjoyed separately. So it's like I may be doing one thing more than I'm doing another thing. Uh, so like I'll be smoking a lot of marijuana one month, and then I'll smoke a lot of tobacco on the next, and they never simultaneously just be indulged in at the same time.
So
It's
you tell me you never smoke weed, a black, and masturbate at the same time?
don't talk about my day like that, Brandon. All right, it was a rough day. It's a Monday.
This
It's
is actually a
always
pretty good
going through it.
segue into your sex workers conversation.
Great segue into sex conversation. So, y'all, the reason why we do these things, right? We have these vices is to relieve ourselves of like the pent up things in ourselves, right? Smoking helps stress of the day of having to deal with a boss or whatever, right? Whatever stress you're doing, something about killing yourself makes you feel just that much better. Um,
Makes you feel in
uh,
control.
Shakespeare said that ejaculating was a form of death, right? He said it was like a type of uh, death, right? And it is
I did hear that.
when we get close to death, we find ourselves at kind of peace or at this Zen moment. And I want
Let
everybody.
me wait a minute. Let me jump in right there. I
Mhm.
think maybe J.D. Salinger or one of the American writers. It may be F. Scott Fitzgerald. I can't remember who said it, but he said basically like obviously we know the English language has so many words and extra words, like more words than any other language, because we like to be flowery and artistic, and more words to explain things. Well, one of those authors said that as soon as we name a feeling, that feeling has lost its true meaning and true essence, right? Because they're saying like in in masturbation or in a climax, you're grunting and just letting out things, and you can't say anything, right? Like you no words are formed. That
Mhm.
is a true form of essence of feeling, and those are words that aren't bogged down with a specific definition or syllables and things like that. So
Ah,
yeah, that's an
ah,
interesting concept around that. But anyways, continue.
ah. I was trying to talk to her and then I got dick choked. Dick choke. Yeah, dick choke. You know when you like you about to come but
Oh,
you can't say anything, right? You just like oh, right? Or I
dick
like that.
choke. See what you just did though? You just gave it a name. That's the
And now
exact
that I've given it a
opposite.
name,
That's the exact opposite. Now it's now it's not
I'm
special
trying to take
anymore.
it out. I'm good. I'm glad. I don't
Yeah.
want that. Doesn't need to be it doesn't need to
Mission
be special
accomplished.
because it doesn't need to be special because it should just be regulated. So
I just want
for
to say
those who are
I completely disagree with what he's saying thus far, and I want to know just how much I disagree. So I'm gonna let you get your shit off.
what? Okay. Look, I will spend the rest of the time convincing you on why this is the proper way to go. All right, y'all. So look, first of all, sex work, right? We when we talk about sex work, we are talking about specific things. All right. Um, People always try to say prostitution, but that is kind of derogatory. There's always criminality attached to it, and it's always attached to like this under subversive culture or whatever. But what is the oldest profession in history, Brandon?
Prostitution.
Bada boom, bada bing. All right, there's nothing on this planet that has sold better than vagina or penis for that matter, but sexual pleasure or sexual fulfillment. Nothing sells better than sexual fulfillment. And there are people going around without sexual fulfillment. There's a listing of terrorists called incels, or they're not terrorists, they're a personality trait of domestic terrorists. Incels are normally white men between the ages of 18 and 35 who are virgins and have never had sex with anybody. Incels are 95% um, the makeup of school and mass shooters. So, mass shootings in schools are comprised of these incels who are sexually frustrated. Imagine if they lived in a society where prostitution was as available as going to buy a car, or excuse me, where sexual fulfillment was as available. They spent thousands of dollars on AR-15s, on rifles, and everything else when they could spend thousands of dollars on some top of the line vagina. You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all only like, oh, matter of fact, let me do this. There are countries, so the countries that have legalized prostitution. I went to Senegal, and prostitution is legal there. You literally, they give you a license, like, it's a license.
Like a dentist.
Yep, yep. Only when they tell you to open your mouth, it ain't for a stethoscope. You know what I'm saying? I know stethoscopes don't go in mouths, but anyway, um, there are places. Why is this not popping up, Brandon? How do you hit the link? Oh, there we go. The countries where prostitution is legal: New Zealand, Australia, Austria, Bangladesh, and Belgium. All right, so we're gonna go with those. Those are the top five.
Okay, two of those
countries.
were I mean, countries that were started literally of criminals. It was like New Zealand and Australia were where they just put people that was like a jail country, and then it just became its own nation. So like that's kind of I feel like that's connected in a way. But continue.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it is connected in a way um, because that's what it is, right? We criminalize the individual, but there are things about the human nature that are just natural, and why criminalize them? And it's so funny. New Zealand, hold on, Australia and New Zealand are both COVID free. All right. Now I'm not an academic, but I'd love to see the correlation between prostitution and uh like the openness of medical testing. So that's another thing, that these places where sex work is legalized, um, like there are regular checkups, right? Some have like to where if you register as a prostitute, you have to have so many medical checkups a year. They have it's just a more open state of medical procedures, so on and so forth. um Sex work is also turning, so OnlyFans is a Fortune 500 company, damn near, right? Like, OnlyFans is about to turn into the new Silicon Valley, once stuff is kind of, when we legalize like sex work. Recently, Instagram banned pole dancing. They banned pole dancing from being uploaded to your feed. So strippers could no longer show their routines on Instagram. But if you are like doing it under workout, right, or body fitness, you got like yoga pants on and a sports bra, then you can gladly swing on your pole, and Instagram won't say nothing about it. The sex working community got really upset about this, so there was a boycott on
You
Sunday.
calling strippers sex workers?
Any sex workers are defined by anybody who sells sex or sexual acts, like the
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So that's how sex worker is defined. It's like, you could be stripping on OnlyFans, but if that's your content, then like that's termed as sex work.
Okay, that's a good anecdote. I think you've done enough. I was waiting for you to
Okay.
convince me.
Okay.
I don't think you have. You're just kind of. It's like saying like I really really like to smoke tobacco. It's legal to purchase cigarettes. This has to be good. It's like feeding into a vice that you deem as natural because we're humans and have free will and have the ability to kill ourselves, even if we're not in any imminent danger, doesn't justify the act of legalizing the thing or putting it into practice so that is normalized. Like I think those urges and physical things that you're talking about aren't natural. I mean, they're natural in the way that because we are all animals, but we are not like animals because we have the ability to think and we have consciences. And I think that I think it speaks to the beauty of who we are. Are you frozen?
No, I'm listening
Oh my gosh,
to your
you do
logic.
so you do so well sitting still. I can't.
I
This
I
isn't great for
I
Zoom.
won every staring contest in my elementary school.
That's so funny. I got a different story. I got a different story about that. But yeah, I don't think that just because there's a universe, like just because universally we all like sex and are drawn to sex in a specific way doesn't mean that is uh it should be regulated in a way to that people can profit off of it. And I'm not like
What?
what is that
But
just
you believe in alcohol. You believe in like the legalization of marijuana. You believe in the legalization of
no, I don't have anything to do like I don't there's no believing in any of those things. Those things exist, and that is the way the world works. I don't I don't
so does
have
prostitution.
but that's what I'm saying. Like I don't yeah, but that doesn't mean like I'm talking specifically about your argument. Like
No, but your argument is based in a morale or a morality um like stratum.
like
So like
the devil is was a angel, and he is a liar, and he is made to tempt and make you worship demigods like sex and money and like vices that are not of anything of substance that give you anything other than pleasure. And I don't believe that life is about being happy and pleasure and all the things. Like I think life is about compromise and sacrifice, and I think longevity comes in compromise and sacrifice. And I think people who decide to give in to those desires and exude those things at the highest level find life to be very short and also very empty in a lot of different ways.
yeah, no, I dig where you're coming from. It's very Christian-y, you know. What I mean, it's very like morally European, right? It's like there is a the we place morality on certain things, certain vices, certain animal natures, and then call ourselves better. But that is
I know I'm not
the
saying any of that.
well, no. I know. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're saying any of this. I'm saying that
You
your
said you
argument is
did. You
based
said my
in
you said my take
your argument is based in
is
these things.
Christianity and
Like
European, and I'm not saying
no, I'm saying
I
the foundation of that. Like why would you say that legalization of sex is wrong, but the
I didn't say it was
legalization
wrong.
or okay, excuse me, not
I
wrong, but
I was just mentioning.
feeding no, let's talk about feeding into I
Okay,
know your argument is feeding into one's
great deepest desires.
primal nature,
Right.
primal. So feeding into one's primal nature is animalistic, and denying yourself of those primal instincts is of God, right? Because you said the devil was
I
like
think
purely primal. The
yeah. I
devil is
mean,
like
you can
a
take that for the
liar and
Christianity part of it, but I think it is of I think more so of God. It is of life.
but life is about balance, right? Any monk, any Buddhist, any like uh Christian, like there are other religions, right, that aren't just Christianity. They have different outlooks on what that sacrifice and compromise looks like, right? It's not it's a
I mean,
balance
you
of the
just
two.
mentioned two religions that abstain from all things, and
Yes,
I don't think that's balanced.
no, but they don't abstain from all things to assume that they are closer to God. They
Yeah,
abstain from
they do.
things.
They take away all things to be closer to God. They shun all things that aren't meditation and practicing and teaching of the
uh
word.
no,
I
I
mean,
feel like you
I'm
don't
talking about the
know.
ones you mentioned. You said Buddhist and
No, I
monks.
get that, but I feel like you don't Buddhist monks, right? It's the same. Monks are different, and
It's
then
not
we
the
could talk
same. It's two
about
different. I mean, they can be
no
the
monks
same,
are
but
no monks
there's
is
two
a
different things.
distinction. Monks are a distinction within a religion, right? There's Christian monks, there's Buddhist monks, there's monks
Right.
go across the board. Buddhism is the religion that I was talking about, and I feel like you're not well versed enough to assume that is what they're doing when they're seeking enlightenment, right? Like
That what is what they're doing?
abstaining from their primal natures and everything else. And I would also argue, Brandon, that you
I'm not
speak
talking
about
about
the
just primal nature. I'm talking about like ingesting of entertainment, like
but I
anything
mean,
that's
what
a way like
The Catholic Church ingesting little boys. You know what I'm saying? Like it, when we talk about the facade or the hypocrisy of religion, like it's one thing that is practice what you preach. It's good that you are as an individual practicing what you're preaching, but for the whole, we can't assume. I'm not going to assume, but right, but like I mean, with our experiences, everybody's had an experience with a preacher that resembled the devil as a liar more than God
oh,
as a
absolutely.
righteous man, right? Like we can always have our examples
The
of
devil
people
takes
who
many forms.
and fell short and everything, but I don't believe my thought process is more Portugal. So in Portugal, they decriminalized everything, right? And because of it, they have more money to put into clinics for folks. So heroin's not is it's legal. So you they not legal, but it's decriminalized. So you can have heroin. They pick you up. You was sleeping on the street or something. They're going to put you in a facility and try to get you back on your feet, right? Because there's public funds for that. And
I want to make it
I,
clear that I'm not denouncing the legalization of things that were legal or deemed as bad or immoral. I'm saying that your justification of why sex work should be legal, I don't agree with, because because you're saying that it's like giving people what they want, and I'm saying we are made to
it's not
want.
one, it's need. It's need. If some kitty cat is
uh,
gonna keep Cal Ritter from
But that's
shooting up
why
the
I guess
store,
that's
Daniel
exactly
Roof, you
why
know what I'm
I'm
saying?
pushing against it, because it's not need. Like you just mentioned, Buddhist monks and things like there's people that exist in life and do not participate. I think you're trying to universalize desires to the point where feeding into them is a good thing, and I'm saying that you can't universalize how people handle whatever is going on for them internally.
Okay. Nobody is born a Buddhist monk, by the way. Feel me? Nobody's born a
No,
monk. So they've always like were led to that path after indulging in those things, those primal things, and saying, this wasn't healthy for me. And I'm here with you. I agree that to recognize your vices is to be a healthier person. To abstain from those vices is to be a healthier person, right?
no,
But
I'm not saying that.
but it's not to. Well, what are you saying? You said like
I'm saying there's no justification in feeding into your vices as as like good for
no.
humanity.
What are you talking about? Yes, it is, Brandon. The prohibition caused more like extrajudicial killings and murders and bribery and corruption within states because of bootlegging, right? Because people were going against the law, which was supposed to be moral. That's the thing. People confuse the law with morality. And that's what I feel like you're doing a little bit is like you're
How?
confusing by bringing in the morale of feeding into one's desires when I'm talking about just the law and as humans, how we can evolve. And you're saying, this is what I'm assuming you're saying, people feeding into their primal natures is not how we evolve society. It's the opposite. We devolve because we're feeding into that primal nature. And I'm telling you that actually you're not, like the fact that it's no longer taboo.
I'm not saying that we're devolved. I'm just saying that there's no justification that feeding into desires is a way of regulating those desires.
I beg to,
Me
yeah, I
personally,
beg to differ.
yeah, I know, but like that, but that's, I mean, that's why you are, and I am who I am. Like that's
Hmm.
a big difference, because I do think that there is longevity, in my opinion. There's longevity, and it's not about morality. There's longevity in abstaining from things that are
I'm
what?
yeah, I mean, I'm not here for the morality conversation. I'm here for the sex work conversation, and just also kind of the hypocrisy within our society that, on one hand, says you can't dance on a pole, um, and promote your
Oh,
talent
I mean,
because
I think
remember,
it's completely. I do think it's crazy that America hasn't already legalized, but they have in certain states and areas and what is territories like that. There is a
Las
but
Vegas.
yeah, there is yeah exactly like that. That is a thing because like but America. I guess you can't use America. In my opinion, it's hard for me to use America as a guiding light for how things should be done, based because all the other things that we constantly say negatively about how America is ran, and it is the system that is the issue at its core, and it can't just be an issue for the things that you find it as an issue. The system is an issue into totality, and
Yeah,
that one of
if
those
only,
totalities is sex workers and
if
it
only
being
one
the
of these.
oldest and it's humanities it's a fault and a flaw of humanity
It's,
and
I don't think it's, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I just don't see it as a flaw. I just don't. I see it as healthy exercising of your sexual libido, so on and so forth. Like, if people could walk into Walmart and go in the back and get some head, like they would they would not be so mad about their boss yelling at them, right? They would not be so mad about the
no
workload
i
that they
think i
have.
think a lot of people need to heal and a lot of people are hurting and a lot of people take uh shortcuts to feeling good. And I think sex is one of those things, drugs is one of those things, tobacco is one of those things, alcohol is one of those things. Like I think the healing is a really hard and long process that you have to look internal for, and you have to look in your mirror and see yourself as an issue as well. And I think people aren't prone to do that and realize that as a reality. So yes, in that concept of trying to solve the issue of you being bullied and trying to get that off, yeah, maybe getting your rocks off is going to help you, but guess what, one girl's going to say no and now you're a murderer. Like I don't I think
What? You're not worried about the girl saying no because you can pay $50 to somebody's gonna say yes. That's what I'm saying. Nobody's a murderer. There's no murderers in a
the
society
most
that
popular murderer
allows.
in the history of murderers is Jack the Ripper, who was famous for murdering prostitutes after he had sex with them and paid them. Like that's what are
I
you
mean,
talking
that's
about?
just a psychopath, Brandon. If a
But I'm saying
psychopath is
like, but
gonna
I'm saying like,
murder
there's not
no
that's
matter
not.
what.
But I'm saying that's not. You're acting as if it's a band aid, and I'm telling you that's not. Like sick people are sick people. Hurt people are hurt people. Like flawed, like people who are dealing with pain and confusion and want to lash out to try to solve those things. Sex isn't being able to pay for sex isn't going to help that thing at all. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
Shit.
thinking that's going to regulate. I think in my opinion that's just you're putting sex workers in harm's way by getting them in front of people who are so hurt and so distraught that they think that they need to solve these
You know,
issues by paying $50 and getting a
yeah,
blowjob.
you're not. You're putting them in harm's way by having it illegal, and like the most seediest and like ill-intended people. It's people that have already gone down that path of being hurt and they're already damaged. It's like
So like that's the
if
thing. Like that's you're speaking as if like once that happens, there's no turning back. And I think that people can heal at any point in time. So like you can't just like, oh, now that you're in a
also
category.
I want to make it clear, everybody. I would never pay for sex personally. I don't. I just personally would never pay for sex. You heard, if you've listened to the podcast, me and Brandon talked about how we haven't really been to strip clubs like that. I don't enjoy strip clubs like that, but I do have friends who strip, and I want to support their small business. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here for that. I think that they're attractive. I Ching, I'll pay for that fans only page. But as far as like paying them to do something to me physically, I would never. I would never go that far. But I think that it should be your option if that is what you want to do.
I think hurt people, and uh, the yeah, I can just leave it at that. I think hurt people, and I think making it way for people to heal in a quick way of like during their high is not a good way to solve problems. I mentioned before John Mulaney just checked into rehab in Pennsylvania. He's a very popular comedian who's writes for SNL and things like that. He just checked in for cocaine and alcohol abuse, and that's something that's common with celebrities of his magnitude. But I do think that they find happiness in places where it's not very long. It's short lived. And I think
Yeah.
sex is one of those things. It's like I've mentioned it before, Lil Wayne, as soon as I come to my senses. Like I think there's a reality to the quick fix of those things and those vices that in all actuality, to get real closure and healing in a different mindset, it takes a lot more work and inner dialogue that like people aren't necessarily open to, and therapy that people aren't necessarily open to. It's much easier to pay for, whatever, vice du jour than it is to pay for the therapy to kind of just learn why you think of, and that this is kind of going all the way left with it, but why you think of women as a means to an end to make you feel better versus like a human who, I mean, not to say that they're not human, but I do think there's some dehumanization that comes with sex work, and that's my main argument against it.
Ah, I see your argument. Good argument. Good argument.
Yeah, but we went long. Sometimes I feel like we lose people because we just go too deep into it. But I mean, let's be real. Prostitution is going to be legal by the time Carter is 18. Unsung hero, the Grinch.
I mean, are we? I usually wrap up with my Christmas thing, so I was like, "Are we good? Did you have anything like sports has been on? I didn't finish watching the game, but I think the Bengals beat the Steelers. Did they beat them?
No way, the Bengals beat the Steelers.
Yes,
I wasn't paying attention
yes.
to the game at all.
They was winning at halftime. I didn't
What?
watch the rest of the game. It was up.
Let me look. Okay,
So I know
wow.
that they Bengals beat them,
Three and
didn't they?
10. Listen, I've been talking about how the Steelers have been a flawed football team from the jump. I can't believe the Baltimore Ravens didn't get a chance to knock them off when there was basically the Baltimore Ravens lost to them, making them 10-0. They're weren't as good as I've always said they were. They've been losing games left and right. That is a division loss. Great for the Ravens. I cannot believe that happened. The Cincinnati Bengals, I don't even know who's playing quarterback for them since Joe Burrow
Rivers
is
or
out.
some livers or something like that.
Whatever he was, he's cold because he did it.
He did do it. He was
That
playing some scrappy ball. He was getting smacked too though.
I cannot believe. So that is great. I thank you for shouting out. So the Ravens are on the hunt. They might be on a tear. Every game's a playoff game at this point in time because they're trying to get into the playoffs. And I think they should get to the point where they can possibly win. Obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC is going to be the big game. So especially who's going to play. A lot of people think the Buffalo Bills are going to play the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship. I'm hoping the Ravens get a chance to exact revenge on the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship. The Patriots got knocked out of the AFC East. I mean, they did not win the AFC East, and they would not be in the playoffs for the first time in 13 years or whatever. How many years since Tom Brady has been there? This is the first time they have not make it to the. They got knocked off by Tua Tagovailoa. Miami Dolphins, the first time Bill Belichick has lost to a rookie quarterback. That was a great storyline. With all this being said, I didn't watch a bunch of football. I kind of forgot. It's been nice being on vacation, and this time of year where they play football games on Saturdays. So,
Mhm.
you got Aaron Rodgers and the MVP conversation, all those different things. Basketball is about to start up on Christmas Day. The NBA is going to be very real. Ball State won a MAC championship. Shout out to them. They beat Buffalo in handed fashion. It was up and down for a little bit, but it ended up being handed fashion. Notre Dame lost in handed fashion to the Clemson. I was way off by saying they lose by 1 point, and you were way off by saying they lose by 6. They lost by 21 points. But They're still in the national championship. Or not championship. They made the college football playoffs. They play Alabama on January 1st, and Clemson plays Ohio State, and that's controversial because Ohio State only played 5 games this year because of the COVID and games getting canceled. But everyone in Notre Dame is feeling kind of nervous about this Alabama Notre Dame matchup. Obviously,
Alabama's about to smack y'all.
Alabama has 2 Heisman Trophy candidates, the running back and
Alabama's
the
about to
quarterback.
smack y'all.
One of the best wide receivers Alabama's ever had.
Smack the gold out y'all.
We don't know that. But even if they do win,
did you see the hit?
They have to play Clemson. They'll have to play Clemson again because Clemson's probably going to beat Ohio State.
I'm gonna send you a clip. There was a Alabama player, of Florida. They were just playing Florida, right?
Yes, in the SEC championship.
Florida got an interception and was running back, and an Alabama person hit the guy so hard that he dropped the ball and they got the ball back. But like when I tell you this receiver, the fumble, yes. It was interception and then a fumble, right?
Okay, yes.
But the way he hit him, like they about to eat y'all alive. That's not good.
Najee Harris is the running back that I was talking about. This Heisman candidate, and I tweeted. I was like, I'm excited about the matchup. I'm feeling optimistic about Notre Dame's chances for whatever reason. But I do get sad thinking about Notre Dame trying to tackle Najee Harris. He's like literally like Derrick Henry back at Alabama, and Derrick Henry is who Derrick Henry is. But yeah, I guess that's the football roundup. I am excited about basketball coming back. Kyle Kuzma signed an extension with the Lakers, so he's coming back. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like Alex Caruso is a better player than him at this point in time. James Harden gained a little weight over the quarantine, which is so funny to see him fat. Do you see those pictures of fat James Harden?
Yeah, I've been listening.
Oh, and then you sent me something recently about if fat is a bad word.
Yeah, man. I wasn't sure if I wanted to get into that on this podcast, but and I knew I shouldn't have did it, but so me and Brandon, this is another thing we talk about us growing up. We ate whipped cream like just with a spoon. Like we would take a spoon, the biggest spoon we could find.
Okay.
This
not whipped cream. This is Cool Whip hydroxyl oil. Because right. Whipped cream in a spoon is like putting the canister, which is Whippets, basically in a spoon. No, we did the oil, the Cool Whip. We all know. Yes. All my fat people out there know Cool Whip and whipped cream, 2 different things.
And see, so I'm realizing
and the best pie have both on them.
So you can say that. You can say all my fat people because you've been fat your entire life, right?
I've been big my whole life, yes.
Or just big, right? I've always said big.
I think I'm pretty fat. We got some pictures of me as a child owning it. I'm definitely, fat is definitely like here. I always say I tell people this to give them a really good example of it. Since I've been 14 years old, I am now 30 years old. Since I was 14 years old, I've been anywhere between 275 and 333 pounds. So you tell me. And when I say 14 because when I was 13 in middle school, I was probably around 265. I mean, in 7th grade, I was 260.
I mean, I want to go from when you was first diagnosed with obesity, and I feel like that was before all of that.
It was like by the scale and by the thing.
Yeah, like they said you're obese.
Yeah.
Yes, that I remember being at the doctor's office when they said that. I feel like I was there. And they broke this news to you that was just dire. I was like, "Oh my God, my brother has obesity."
Like, really, when I'm feeling at my fattest, I definitely watch 600 pound, my 600 pound life, and I was like, "Okay, I'm not that bad." And also, like, it's just also a reminder, you gotta shape up and ship, or you're gonna ship out, or they're gonna have to cut you out of your house if you don't. You know what I mean? So
I put Whip It. I put whipped cream, not Cool Whip. Whip It. The whipped cream in like a bowl.
No, stop saying whip it. Whip it is a drug. Whippets are a drug. The canister stuff that's in, like the canister, like the stuff that goes in. Those are just.
I've heard people doing it. Yeah. I've heard people doing it.
Yeah. The creator of Zappos just died, and he was like, he was addicted to Whippets as well. So Yeah. But
I mean,
anyways,
I don't want to laugh at that, but you did.
yeah. But anyways, you're saying you put whipped cream on a spoon.
I put whipped cream in a bowl and I was eating it
Oh,
from a spoon. And I think like the caption, this is a video, and I put in the caption, um, "This is how fat I am," or something like that, right? And
yeah.
before I posted it, I was like, somebody fat is gonna have a problem with this because I follow a lot of fat activists, right? Like a lot of people who
You
are
mean
it's
plus
not
size
funny,
activists are people that are like specifically activists for fat people?
specifically activists for fat people.
Continue, because I appreciate them too. Go ahead.
I got checked like a mug. I issued my public apology.
This
Um,
happened. You like, what'd you put it on? Like Instagram Instagram stories or what? Where is the
it
post?
was on my
Instagram
Instagram
stories.
stories.
You said this is how fat I am, and people came at you.
This is how you know Brandon doesn't watch my stories. He needs to. Um,
I
but
be trying to stay
yes,
off social media. I literally
whatever.
I'd be like in the gym. I'd be like put a shot up and then I get off. Right.
Whatever, Brandon. You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie.
Oh,
Um, but no, so somebody came at me and I knew it was gonna happen. Like after I posted, I was like, I shouldn't have said fat. Should have just said hungry or something that we all can relate to.
how hungry I am.
Maybe chubby. I feel like I was chubby as a kid. So is there like a chubby pride
When
that
was
I
you
can?
chubby? Mind you, we started this podcast talking about it's always who you were standing next to, and I was always next to your ass. So when was you chubby?
And I stood next to Quillen, Brandon.
Yeah, shout out to Quillen. Yeah, Quillen.
So compared to Quillen, I am a gummy bear. What are you
Yeah,
talking about? What
we definitely like a Nutrislim.
do I need
Like,
to do? Y'all, I can make Brandon laugh instantly by doing this thing called the rock said, because the rock said where I make my chest, the fat on my chest bounce up and down. Um,
it's basically the truffle shuffle with a different tune.
so so that's what I mean when I
Shout
say
out to
chubby.
Goonies.
That's what I mean when I say chubby. So, but
Okay.
yeah, no, I got called out. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on that. I wanted to shout out my, and just I am sorry, and I will be more conscious. We should all be more conscious of. Um,
I'm not saying you shouldn't, but and I'm just not in like a black people can say the N word type of thing, but I do think that there has been. I think we've gone so heavy trying not to offend people that we don't know how to show concern for people or articulate like bluntness or like
mhm,
you know what I'm saying? It's like,
mhm.
one of our aunties that loves us the most. I don't say loves us the most because I wouldn't want to do that, but like definitely loves us and respects us and cares for us. Still calls us white. You know what I mean? Shout out to our Maryland. You know what I mean? Like she does that with love in her heart, but like that's fucked up, right?
Every single time.
It's like not nice. It's like
It's every
not
single
okay.
time. Every single time.
She said,
I'll be like,
I always told Selena, your boy's so white. Just
and she
like,
says it in
okay,
different ways.
thank
She
you,
say it in different
Maryland.
ways, like change the tone of it, and it just never
Never
does
feels
the trick.
right. Never feels good. But
Never
anyway, so
feels
that's what I'm
good.
trying to say. Like, we don't know how to like talk to each other anymore. And I think everyone's rightfully so and good that like people are speaking out and becoming activists for things. But like, you can eat a bowl of whipped cream and call yourself fat, and it's not be mocking towards people. And I think now because
I agree.
we got plus
I
size
mean, I
models
agree.
out here. You know what I mean?
I agree.
The best of
But
models.
when you offend someone, it is best
Yes.
to just acknowledge that you offended somebody and
Correct.
like keep it moving. So
Yes.
I
Correct.
acknowledged it and I'm keeping it moving.
Yes.
Um,
Shout out.
as we end, you
Oh,
allow me to.
I did want to bring one up thing because I did send this to you, and I bring up LeBron James a little bit, but he said in his uh, December 21st, 2020 tweet, today's conjunction of the planets is set for us to reach our highest vibration. If you can today, meditate and set intention for yourself and loved ones. Stay positive in your thoughts. words, and actions. Ask for balance and love.
I wish you would have just brought that up after I went through my whole Grinch thing, because it's really would have segued us into the thoughts and prayers, or what I would like to do for this podcast, intentions and manifestations. We'll close
Intention and
with that.
manifestation, eyes and peas.
Yes, yes. But I wanted to.
Well, I did. We felt like we're very far from that whole 2020 thing, and obviously Grinch was. I feel like it was more of like a holistic seasonal thing, and I want to be very specific about this episode before we got into the into your Grinch bag or into your Christmas bag. So I apologize, but go ahead.
No worries. Now we haven't wrapped up. It was a good podcast. Matter of fact, we just gonna keep it like that.
No, you ain't gonna talk about the Grinch?
I do, but like I think I want to make a video and then like post it in like a bonus episode for this, like 8.5. So like
Okay.
we'll do a maybe
Basically, but I thought your take. I don't want to step on your take, but you said some great stuff about the Grinch. I don't want to pull it out of you, but what's that?
No, I remember all the great stuff about the Grinch.
You gonna say it? He's the most woke person in
Again,
Whoville.
Brandon, I gotta follow LeBron James and his spread love mantra with my my salt.
It's not crazy. I don't care about LeBron. It's like reading some fake person's tweet. I don't even know who posted that. I like to think he did. He extra with emojis like I am. But yeah, I'm not worried about LeBron. I just want to get that off my chest to let people know what LeBron said about setting intentions and being positive and asking for love and meditating. We was literally on the beach earlier today. I was running around and there was a group of people all facing north, hippie-esque. And I say hippie-esque because, of the 13 people, 7 of them were white people with dreads, and they were facing north and they were all silent on their knees and like meditating. So like this is a time. It's the shortest day of the year, obviously with the conjunction and things like that. Like people are set to try to do something special and be intentional. And that's why I kind of liked whatever the hell the first topic of this podcast was, when we was kind of just spitballing about stuff. But like that I think that is important. And you're pushing your rhetoric, and I think that's important as well.
Right on. I got some fire ass rhetoric. On God, fam.
Was this a tease?
No, that's just real. It's just real rap, son.
Bet.
I'm gonna tell you though, unsung hero is the Grinch. Listen, y'all, why do we treat the Grinch like he's some bad person? All right, the Grinch is probably the Malcolm X of Whoville. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? He is the Che Guevara of Whoville. He is the Thomas Sankara of Whoville. He is the rebellious person going against colonialism. Where he lived in the cave. Why y'all think he lived in the cave? Because he want to live there? Nah, his block got gentrified when Whoville and them moved in to the block and moved him and his dog Max out to the cave. That's not where Max. He wanted to go. His fur was blue. See, y'all don't even know that. Y'all don't even know that. He's part of Cookie Monster and those queens, right? But his shit turned green because he became envious. Y'all not only did y'all push him to a cave, but it looked down on everything that was his, everything that he used to have, everything that him and his people. And y'all ever notice it's only one of the Grinch in Whoville? Where's the rest of the Grinches?
Y'all made his heart small.
Where's the rest of the Grinches? Y'all probably massacred his whole people, like all the other Grinches. Y'all, that's probably not even his name. His name is probably the Grins, right? Like because they used to smile so much.
The Grinners, whole people, all of them used to smile.
The Grinners, but then Whoville gentrified everything, and now the Grinch is who he is, trying to freedom fight by going and taking the presents.
All them white people with plastic surgery on their nose and shit. Yeah, it's terrible.
What? It looked like a
Hollywood out there.
Looked like a whole bunch of Caitlyn Jenners and
how unwoke of you.
just all of the Kardashians. Oh my God, I saw. Speaking real quick, time out. Side note: I saw a meme that said, um, "What will make somebody, or what are all the best parts about a black woman?" And then somebody else said, "Ask the Kardashians."
Ooh, ooh. They
It's
definitely told their
fire.
doctor.
Come on now. Hey, I need my lips to be like this black woman, Tiana Taylor, or
It's
something like
actually
that.
kind of
But
crazy because how Kylie was just like, I want to look like my friend Jordan Woods, but that's not for right now.
y'all push the Grinch, and y'all lucky all he was doing was stealing your presents.
Mm.
You understand? Like y'all lucky that's all he was doing because he could have been like super militant, right? He could have been like, "We gonna take who back by any means necessary." He could have been coming into chimneys and slitting throats instead of just stealing presents. You feel me? Y'all was slipping. That's y'all fault for slipping, for believing in some Santa Claus. You know,
What if it was just him and
it
Max?
pains me.
I gotta run that
It
back.
pains me.
And Jim Carrey killed that shit, by the way.
He did. What is Jim Carrey? Listen here. I'm gonna cry when Jim Carrey dies.
Mm.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
cry.
he's
That's
like,
gonna hit me. That's gonna hit me harder than Robin Williams.
I was gonna say it's like our generation's Robin Williams.
I know you froze. You throwing up
No, I said it's like
Texas, Houston, Texas.
I said it's like our generation's Robin
Okay.
Williams.
Nope, you froze again.
I said your
But
internet's
that's okay
unstable.
because you're recording on your side. So if
Yeah,
you're recording, then okay, you're back to it.
I said I think that's our generation's Robin Williams.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
I like that.
But anyways,
So yeah, the Grinch, y'all.
this is Grinch season
He's
though. This is all about this Ichabod Crane season. It's all about like everyone. A part of the Christmas spirit is taking a hater and making them their heart grow big because at the end of the day, it's not about the presents. It's about the intention. It's about the care. It's about the thoughtfulness. And to be honest, it's hard to. It's not something that people who have to worry about the next meal or certain on day-to-day stuff can have the mental capacity to like bring into the fold to like worry about some gifts and all that extra shit. But at the end of the day, it's the Christmas cheer. It's like it's singing loud for all to hear. It's like it's just about feeling good, but obviously you're tying those feels into capitalism, which is not wrong.
right. Not wrong at all. It's indoctrination that we all go through as
And you said
children. It's
you said
part of that
people
social construct.
and people are doing being like the Grinch because they're stealing packages off people's doorsteps, which
Oh my
are
God,
filled
y'all.
with Christmas presents.
So that's another thing, right? The stealing of packages. There's a guy named Joe something. He was a NASA engineer and an engineer for Apple. And he makes these really kind of unique and
You have
detailed
here that his name is
boxes.
Mark Robber.
There we go. Mark and Joe. Mark and Joe is one of those names that just I get mixed
Really?
up. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
I'm letting it ride. But it's also like it's about stealing packages and his last name's Robber. So I feel like that kind of just
That's it. That's the wild part. But anyway, so when he gets, so let's say you steal the package, he has four cameras in there that's recording at all angles. When you open the box, a pound of glitter is released on your person and wherever you're at. Fart spray starts to spray immediately and
fart sprays the shit.
continuously, and
Hey.
a alarm goes off that counts down from 10, make you believe that the package is about to explode. So he's like got people on camera running because they scared about it, throwing it,
That's so funny.
or like trying to put it back and all this other stuff. But it's like, y'all, the modern day Grinches, the people that's really there to steal your packages, they not, meth is a hell of a drug. Heroin is a hell of a drug. Um, oh, that's another reason why I like watching it, because the majority of the assailants are like non-black people. So I'm like I'm here for anything that is showing the criminalization of other people instead of just black people, like my
Yes.
news does, right? So yeah, be on the lookout, man. Y'all with the packages and stuff. Packages are on a delay. USPS is like a week or two behind with their deliveries. UPS is a week or two behind. FedEx, the same thing. Like everybody's back. That's so funny, y'all. Brandon just yawned with his nostrils. And when I tell y'all, it was the strongest breath I've ever seen taken. So that's how we gonna end, y'all. That's how we gonna end. Take your strong breaths.
I literally when you said when you stopped down, I was like, oh shit, Lance just saw me yawn. But like I kept my mouth shut and I was like, well, how he gonna know about that? He gonna talk about the damn breath. I know I had to look crazy.
You looked at insane, insane, insane. Like you was trying to snort coke off of a table that was like below your waist. Like
Oh
why are you
my
breathing
god.
alone? No,
You're a mean one.
Mr. Grinch, intentions. All right, y'all. Intentions
Yes.
and manifestations. I's and M's for the end of our podcast. Brandon, you have any?
I intend on tapping in. This may be like a common theme at this point in time from what I've been on this whole podcast on some self-help Buddhist type shit. But like I intend on reaching a higher level of self, regardless of what that means for my sacrificing of like what the things I like or what things I want to do. Like I've talked to you a lot about how it's very important for me to hold on to the version of Brandon Newman of myself. I look myself in the mirror that I think that I know and like and love. But it's more important for me to be the version of Brandon Newman that my wife needs, the version of Brandon Newman that Carter, my son, needs. Um, and I think with that type of sacrifices, I can tap into a whole another level of where I'm going to go. So it is less about what I want to do and who more of like who I am and who I need to be. And I think there's a certain level of detail that needs to be paid attention to the things around me that are outside of like my own little bubble. Because if I can focus on my own little bubble, I can get all those I's dotted and T's crossed. But to be intentional to help others and lead by example, I guess that's my intention. Leading by example is something that I intend to do, and that is on going to be on purpose. So like that's the eyes of that you said intentions, and what else? Manifestations, take that level part of it. Like I said, you about to be in your Jesus year. I will i will be working for myself on buying my Jesus year, and I'm going to take the time these 3 years. I guess I turned 31 in a couple months, so 2.5 years, whatever the shit is. I would use those years to continue to craft myself and be the best version of myself as a creative, as a comedian. I plan to learn and grow from other people. I need to be in the streets and touch people. I want to give space for the comedians in Louisville to kind of get their shit off once COVID kind of settles down, and look into spaces to host events and things like that. Because I think that's just going to be a good medium for people. So I will manifest everything that I want out of life, because I feel like it's been put on my heart to do so. But I know it takes time, and that's why I'm glad that my roots will be in Louisville during this time period and will be settled enough so that I can make those things happen. So yes, and I have another. We alluded to some updates that are coming, and one's in the works right now, and I don't want to speak on it before it gets finalized. But I do have some things coming that will help me in the sense of getting more structured in my day, and focus on the things I need to be focused on, because there's only X amount of hours in a day, right? Obviously days are getting longer now after the summer. The winter solstice is changing, but to be intentional with those hours is going to be very important. And I'm gonna get off this tangent, but I am very, very serious about manifesting everything that I want out of my life, and also being intentional in how I get those things and how I inspire others along the way. Because everyone's
Right on.
watching. That's why I want to say that too. Like, if you think somebody's watching, you think you're doing something, nobody's watching. Like, people are watching. Things are getting ingested in different ways, and there's some things you just can't hide. So like trying to, and you can't hide from yourself as well. So I think that's an important part to say. So that's where I'm at. Stepping off of the soapbox.
No, no, no. I'll take a one of what he's having. God, um,
Shout out to Truly's.
no, my I'm feeling the same way. I believe it's a balance between selfish and selfless, right? Um, you have to balance that. You have to balance that between yourself. And I feel like I don't know. Just honestly, I've been feeling like I've been selfless quite a bit throughout my career, and I believe that like it's time for me to put my energy into and my intentions just into the things that I have been trying to get off the ground and just my own little personal visual pieces, my book. I've never put out a book, right? And I've been working on one for quite some time, but the screenplays, like acting and taking that serious, like I've been on auditions back to back and nobody's picking up a brother because I suck. I probably look, what do I know, right? Unless they want a dude with dreads and they don't care how their character is supposed to be, I have to like reach into a different part of me. So like my intentions are to get better at my crafts, all my crafts, and put energy into hmm, the next level. Right. I always tell my yang, she's older than me, and I'll be like, "You think I ain't gonna be making more money than you when I'm your age?" Like, you know what I mean? It's like that's my own inner self that feels like not there yet. People look up to me as, hey, Mister, he's got it all together, and he's like, I've seen him do this and that, and da 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 da. And that's like that's what happens when you work with people. That's what happens when you um, have a passion for something. But like, y'all haven't seen me be vain, right? Take a whole bunch of pictures. I think I like my face. What I mean, I've never been one to talk about it because I was ugly as a kid, but now everybody's cool with a brother now that I'm older. But like maybe I need to indulge in that a little bit. Like so
Oh yeah, selfish
I'm
season in 2021. They coming. And
I'm
they're not
I'm
thirst traps, they're confidence boosters.
confidence boosters, all right? I'm coming out. I want the world to know I got a dope flow. So that's what I'll be manifesting. And then also just manifesting just interpersonally. Um people be like, I want to be a better father and a better partner. And I feel like I do that shit good. I really do. I know that's just my opinion looking at it from the
I know,
outside.
but you
And
you
I know
you
people can judge and
that's
people
I
say,
here let me jump on that real quick because I do think that that's the main issue with fatherhood. I think mothers challenge themselves to continue to be in their children's lives and that challenge to learn about their children, where fathers constantly have their
yeah,
own
I agree with that.
measuring stick, a checklist, and once
Yeah.
they check those boxes off, they check out. And
Yeah.
I think it's and obviously
Ooh, that's a good
I don't
one.
think you're guilty of that at all because you're an amazing father.
No,
But I do
I
think
am though, to an
but I
extent.
do think if you think that you've it's never enough.
Yeah,
Like
no,
there's
no. I could change way more diapers. I don't be there's plenty of stuff that I could do. So maybe that I'll manifest and I'll put my intentions towards like making more meals, handling more responsibilities um, with the children. Because me and you both kind of have that. I don't know. We have that like, it's your problem. It sounds like a personal problem. Like I feel like that's our
absolutely
response.
there are a lot of
That's how,
people that have those.
that's our response to a lot of things. Like, that's a personal problem when a little a little bit of caring, just a little bit more caring than we actually, just a little bit more fucks than we actually give. Like we could solve that
I
problem.
do agree with that. I don't think that there's any personal problems when it comes to issues within the family and your wife or any of those things like that. Like it's those are all issues that you have. Now obviously having conversations to recognize that these are certain issues are manufactured and maybe manufactured as like busy work having those honest conversations around that is important. But like, there is a reality to the mending and the blending of families once you're married and you know have a household and embracing kids. That like, it's like the happy wife happy life thing. Like, it's cliche, but like those issues spill over to you in a very, very real way, that if you don't take them as your issues, best believe they will be your issues, quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Straight up. Straight up. Straight like that.
Yeah, so that's it. We
That's episode 8, y'all.
you know what
Look,
I'm saying?
we on episode 8. Y'all stick around, man. Episode 10, we got a special guest. All right, we got a special guest that we kicking in, that we bringing in. We got segments coming.
Damn.
All right. You know, we got all
that.
types of stuff coming, man.
Yeah.
Y'all just check it out, man.
And
Y'all
shout out to the people that have been listening. I peeked at the analytics, and you know what I'm saying? We got, I mean, shit, I saw 75 people, you know what I'm saying, downloaded the app, you know what I'm saying? Like, and there may be a little delay, but like, you know what I'm saying, it's a slow build. We ain't going nowhere.
We not going nowhere.
You know what I'm saying? We just gonna get better in front of your eyes if you watching, in front of your ears if you listening, and
y'all get to be along for the journey. Y'all
you know
get to see the transformation. We're gonna be working on ourselves, and in working on ourselves, being an example to y'all and everybody else, that like we can all grow together and evolve and just work on those things within us.
But don't believe the bullshit. Dinosaurs ain't real.
And noodles don't go in your chili. Thank y'all for coming in to the Podigal Sons podcast, episode 8. Bye-bye.